This is Fieldsports Channel News. Nearly all pheasants sold in the UK for food have lead shot in them, according to a study. A year into the 5-year voluntary ban on lead shot for game birds, and RSPB scientists examined 180 birds and found that 179 were shot with lead. Run by anti-lead campaigner Professor Debbie Payne, a team of researchers in England and Scotland bought pheasants from game dealers, butchers and supermarkets. The scientists complained that the 5-year phase-out of lead shot hasn't had an effect yet. BASC, which supports the phase-out, told the BBC that change takes time. Are animal rights extremists taking over the government in England? Conservative Party think tank the Bow Group is calling for an inquiry into the influence the PM's fiancée, Carrie Simons, has in the UK government. Concerns have grown since Number 10 hired 2 of Simons' allies as advisors. A vocal supporter of animal rights and opponent of hunting, her time at Number 10 with Boris Johnson has seen the government mull bans on hunting tourism trophies, the replacement of the badger cull with an unproved vaccination programme, and a crackdown on moorland management, making it harder to conserve rare upland species. 3 out of 4 Scots believe the Scottish countryside could and should look after itself. According to a survey for the Scottish Rewilding Alliance, a coalition of 20 organisations including RSPB Scotland and Trees for Life, 76% of people in Scotland support what it calls the large-scale restoration of nature, to the point it will take care of itself. The Scottish Gamekeepers Association is challenging the government and the John Muir Trust over their deer culling policies. The former Forestry Commission, now called Forestry and Land Scotland, killed nearly 1,300 deer out of season in September last year. The SGA complains that efforts to establish a reason for the cull are being frustrated by forestry officials, while documents released under the Freedom of Information Act record that some animals were shot on private land, which is a criminal offence. Meanwhile, the SGA is criticising the John Muir Trust for maintaining a ruthless cull of animals on its land and then leaving the carcasses to rot. A dog walker found hind and calf carcasses on JMT land near Ben Nevis. Staying in Scotland, and the Scottish Government is under pressure from BASC and the Scottish Country Sports Tourism Group. That's after the groups hit out at the decision to exclude country sports businesses from key funds for a second time. In the letter to MSP Fergus Ewing and Kate Forbes, the Cabinet Secretaries responsible for the funds, BASC said the situation is unprecedented and said you cannot justify leaving country sports tourism businesses in the lurch for a second time. Ewing and Visit Scotland officials now say they will support the struggling sector via a dedicated fund of £1 million. Eligible businesses include sporting agencies, estates guides and fishing charter operators. A music video showing the killing of grouse shooters has captured the imagination of animal rights extremists. Bloggers including Ruth Tingay are promoting Burn the Heather from the pop group The Lounge Society, which shows the band shooting a moorland shooting party. Meanwhile, Ben Howard protests against shooting with a video that includes a clip of shooters killing a man dressed as a rabbit. The theme of the film is outraging country people who are calling on YouTube to take it down. The film comes weeks after a survey showed 2/3 of gamekeepers across the country have received abuse and threats because of their job. A golf club has cancelled a fox cull because of harassment from antis. Elton Warren Golf Club was expected to kill foxes on its land as part of routine pest control. South London hunt saboteurs launched an online campaign they claim involved hundreds of thousands of people, flooding the club with emails demanding it scrap the cull. A spokesperson for the club went a step further, saying no wildlife present on the course will be intentionally harmed now or in the future. Last year, a similar campaign forced Muswell Hill Golf Club to stop carrying out fox pest control. And just over a week ago, a similar campaign stopped a Coca-Cola plant in Sidcup from killing a fox that was damaging the site. A dead cat has prompted calls for a grouse hunting ban. A fell runner found the cat and a fox in snares on the Bolton Abbey estate in Yorkshire. The Hunt Saboteurs Association and Ban Blood Sports on Yorkshire moors now say the death of the cat is a reason to ban grouse shooting on the estate. Yorkshire Live includes quotes from convicted criminal and animal rights extremist Luke Steele in its case against the estate. Bolton Abbey explains that the site is a protected area and it is allowed to snare foxes and cats in order to protect rare ground nesting birds. 3 giraffes have been killed by sagging power lines in a Kenyan national park. Over the past 2 years, at least 11 giraffes and dozens of birds of prey have been electrocuted on power lines. A local conservationist described the deaths as worse than poaching. Meanwhile, antis are attacking a woman who paid £1,500 to shoot a giraffe. Nerelise van der Meer is a keen hunter from South Africa who pointed out that the giraffe is an old bull and that the money paid to hunt it pays for conservation. Money from gun and ammo sales in the US is boosting wildlife conservation. The coronavirus lockdown has produced a 10-month buying spree as millions of Americans take up shooting as a sport or pastime. As Outdoor Life website points out, there's an 11% tax on every sporting arm and box of ammunition sold that goes straight to funding wildlife and habitat conservation. It's specifically used for conservation work, hunter education and recruitment, shooting ranges and wildlife research. Nearly 20% of wolves in Wisconsin are to be culled. That's after a hunting group won a court appeal. Wolves lost protection in January, but Hunter Nation, a Kansas-based hunting group, demanded to hold a week-long hunt. Republican state lawmakers also wanted to hurry the hunt through because they fear President Joe Biden will reinstate protections. Some 4,000 permits costing $49 each will raise nearly $200,000 for wildlife conservation. And finally, the recent rains in Australia has led to a boom in mice. NSW farmers posted this footage of mice in a haystack. The rodents are infesting farms, nesting in machinery and causing power and telephone outages. You are now up to date with Fieldsports Channel News. Stalking the stories, fishing for facts.